Today's video is all about ways to add gold to your cards. I love adding gold to my projects, but what's funny is I don't like wearing gold jewelry. I like silver, but anyway, it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. All right, so this is the first product that I'm going to use. It's transfer gels from Thermoweb, and there are two different kinds. One is transfer gel Blanco, which I'm going to use first, and this one actually requires heat, but it goes on white, so you can use it on colored cardstocks as well as white cardstock. You can use it on regular cardstock, watercolored cardstock, whatever floats your boat. So I'm just smearing this through a stencil from Catherine Pooler, and as always, all the supplies I'm using are linked below in the description for you. So I'm just going in and smearing that through the gray cardstock, and then I'll do the same thing for the black cardstock, and then I'll actually do it an additional third time off camera onto some white cardstock. So with the Blanco, it does require heat. So with this one, you have to use some form of laminator. You could try an iron. I never have, but I mean, hey, it's worth a try. Maybe it can be done. Then I'm going to use the same stencil, but I'm going to use the Duo. And the Duo, you can use heat or not use heat. And I'll show you that in a minute. So there are options here because not everybody owns a laminating machine. All right, let's just get real. So I'm glad that they provided a product. These are very inexpensive, and these tubs are going to last a really long time. You don't have to use them through a stencil. I just find it's easier, and I like the design that it puts out or whatever. So don't think that you have to use this product with a stencil, because you don't. But it seems like that's how I'm rolling today in today's video. So I'm smearing this through. I'm using this little spatula. Also it's a Nuvo spatula. And then I'm also going to take this Duo, and I'm going to take the end of my paintbrush and add little dots to some of the flower centers. This is a flower panel that I watercolored myself, so I'm adding little dots here and there to see if we can add some gold that way as well. So I have to let everything dry before you move on to the next step. Now the Duo and the Blanco took at least an hour to dry, so keep that in mind. And then I basically just pressed some gold foil through that, and then it left that beautiful, beautiful result there. Now I used a Baron to press the foil on. You don't need to. That gadget is linked in the description for you. Just anything to press it so the foil is going to stick to it. Now I'm going to take the same Duo gel, which is the one that you can have heat or not add heat, and I'm just going to swipe it on with the paintbrush. And I immediately rinse my paintbrush out, and my paintbrush is just fine. And then I'm going to add some Gilding Flakes. Now I love the look of Gilding Flakes, but they are messy. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now. They're messy, messy, messy. So I'm pressing all the Gilding Flakes onto the dried gel, and then I'm just going to sandwich it in between a piece of copy paper and press it down really hard. I'm using my fist, as you can see, because I want it to stick to all of the dried up gel. And then I'm going to keep pressing, and then I'm basically going to buff whatever I can off, because I don't want, Gilding Flakes all over my house. So I am pressing hard. I am sweeping it with my hands. I'm scratching off. I want any of the flakes that are not really stuck in there to come off, and then I know that I'm good to go. And then I've got my dustbuster to clean up that hot mess, because Gilding Flakes are everywhere. But I knew that going in. You'll know that going in, but they really are fun to work with. And because I removed all the excess, those Gilding Flakes that are on the card panel are stuck there for life. And then I just added a fun balloon stamp from Catherine Pooler, and so it has that beautiful gold background, those gold Gilding Flakes with the colorful balloons. I just thought it went perfectly together. So that's that card. All right, so here is the Duo, and Duo is with heat or without heat, so I'm going to show you. Here's the without heat. I'm just basically taking my hand, and I'm just pressing very hard. I didn't realize I had two pieces of foil there, but I'm just pressing really hard to see how it takes. And it works okay. It works okay pressing really hard. I could have gotten my little Baron out or anything to add some pressure, but I'm using the sleeve of my shirt, and I like how that looks. It looks a little artsy, if you will. You could also use it with heat. So I've got my laminator off to the side that's been heating up. So I'm just going to run it through my machine. I'm using the same foil for all the projects, so I'll be sure to link to that. It kind of has a design in it, almost, in that gold foil, like a static. So here it is running through the laminating machine. You do get more coverage when you run it through the laminating machine, but I think both are just as pretty. So if you don't have a laminating machine, not to worry, you can still use your foil with this product here. So here is the Blanco. The Blanco is the, okay. I don't know. No, I guess I was saying hi. Anyway, so this is the Blanco, and this is the one that requires the heat. So I'm running it through my laminating machine, and that's just gorgeous. It's so pretty against a dark cardstock. Absolutely stunning. And then there is one other foil. I'm a big fat liar. I'm using another foil. One other one just to show you a difference. It's still gold, but it's like got this beautiful watercolor look, and I'll be sure, you know, to link to that one as well. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? The little two-tone look, it's just pretty. So now I have these backgrounds that I can add a sentiment to, I can die cut from it, I can do whatever I want. So these three were made with the Blanco, and these two were made with the Duo. So the Duo is heat or no heat, and the Blanco is heat. Another way that you can add gold to your projects is by using sticky adhesive strips and some foil. Now, we're not always using foil to add gold, so keep in mind, hang with me through this entire video. I'm going to be using a bunch of different products, not just foil. But this is some double-sided tape from scrapbook.com. It's nice and fat, so I just peel off the backing paper, and then that is a full sticky piece of paper now. And then I can take the foil and press it onto that sticky background. And then when I peel up that foil, I have this beautiful, gorgeous background. It's very solid. If you have a good strong sticky tape, you're going to get perfect coverage. There also have they have different widths, different measurements, different whatever of the sticky tape. So these are a couple of the skinny ones. I think this is an 1/8. So I'm just going to add a little border to this background here. This is a background that I also watercolored. And then again, I'm going to go in with the foil. Don't worry, I'm not going to foil the whole time, but you have to hang with me. You just do. All right, so moving on. Once I get that on there, you can press different color foils if you want. You don't always have to use gold, but this video is about adding gold to your cards, so I'm using gold. So you can see the little strips there that I added to this card. Now I'm going to find some other products to add the other gold elements to this card that you see here. So another thing you can use is gold watercolor. Any watercolors that you have, any brand. I'm using Altenew metallic gold watercolors. I just love this pan set, this metallic set. I'm actually going to link to a video above where I watercolor with this set on regular cardstock. You do not need specialty cardstock with these watercolors. But I just flicked on some watercolor, and see those big blobs of gold? That's from the metallic watercolor. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so moving on. Do you hear that squeak? I am in Florida. I drove 16.5 hours to surprise my father for Father's Day, and he just came into the room, and I'm like, get out. Anyway, the door was squeaky. Moving on. Glitter accents is another way that you can add gold accents to your card. So I'm just adding a little bit here and there. You can just, I'm putting it on the leaves, I'm putting it on the stems, just whatever. So this is like a gold glitter almost, and I'm just schmecking it on there. Look at that. Look at that. So for this particular card, I used the foil, I used the watercolors, and now the glitter. 3 different gold accents. 3 different ways to use it on this one card. So glue pens, any pen that dries, or any glue that dries tacky is going to work for this. I love the Nuvo glue pen. This is the medium pen. It's got that broad tip, and I am just flicking that watercolor on, or not watercolor, hello. I'm flicking on the glue, and once it dried, and this glue didn't take but like 10-15 minutes to dry, I'll press that foil onto there and lift it up. Or here you can use the Baron for those that might have issues with their hands, strength in their hands or whatever. And look at that. I think that's so pretty. And I just added a little die set, a little stack of presents. That's from Catherine Pooler in a fun sentiment, and I got this card, but I love the gold that's popping through. I'm going to do the same thing on an alcohol inked background that I created eons ago using the same pen. And then I'll let this dry. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So if you have different color foils, of course you can go in with different colors. You can use scraps for a foil, because sometimes when you press a foil through a design, you still have a lot of foil left on that piece of paper. So use those scraps to go in and add a little bit of accent too. And I thought that was quite pretty. It just looked like I flicked on some paint. And then this is the finished card here, just with a stamp and a sentiment strip. And then the gold is just really pretty. Now, mirror cardstock, of course, is a great way to add gold accents. This gold mirror cardstock, you can get the mirrored or the satin finish. So you can get like the really reflective one or the satin one and use that. And that's a great way, very easy to add gold to your projects. So I just took a piece of mirrored cardstock. Tonic has some good mirrored cardstock. I'll be sure to link to what I'm using below. But this is a fabulous, easy peasy way to add gold to your cards. This is a product that I found from Bria Reese. It's called Liquid Metal. And it's really fun, right? It's like, kind of acts like a watercolor, but it's very thick. And so you want to shake it up, and then I'm just going to add one drop to my cardstock here. This is regular cardstock, nothing fancy. And then I'm going to take this blower thing and squeeze it. You can use a straw, or you could probably push it around with your heat tool or a blow dryer or whatever. And I'm just going to spread this all around just to make this cool little splattered like design. And this is really, really cool. Right? I didn't turn this into a card, but I wanted to show you this beautiful gold background that I can turn into a card later. That's a really good product. You can also use alcohol ink. I wasn't sure if it's going to work because this is not Yupo paper. This is watercolored cardstock, and this is something that I painted myself. And I'm just going to add a little bit to the stem and the leaves, and then I'm just going to scribble all over the card. And I let it dry to see what would happen, and it's fine. I think it's very, very pretty. It gives you this gold glittery look. And this is gold pinata alcohol ink. You can also create, so here's a closer look at the stem. See it? See it? Yeah. All right, so you can do some die cutting accents with this. So this one I tried to do. I'm so dumb. I kept it in the video, but I tried to run it through some Stick It's a double-sided tape, and then I tried to stick the foil, whatever I did, I didn't like it. So then I'm like, duh, let's take this piece where I pressed the foil directly to the card panel that had to stick it on it, run it through my die cutting machine that way, and this is definitely the way to go. Whatever other way I tried was not smart. So this one gave me a nice, beautiful impression, and I just tacked that down to a black cardstock, and I just thought this turned out beautifully. So lots of different ways. I used a lot of foil here because I have a lot of gold foil, but you know, you can use a glue pen, this transfer gel from Thermoweb, alcohol ink, the liquid metal, gold watercolors, gilding flakes. There's lots of things on the market where you can easily add gold to your project. So I hope this gave you some inspiration. I have a video right here below I want you to check out that is all about foiling. So if you are interested in foiling and the different techniques with and without heat, click on this video below. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back next week for my next video. Have a wonderful day. Oh.